Men don't approach women anymore. And the real reason why they don't approach women anymore is not because you're successful. It's not because you're beautiful. They don't approach women anymore because these new day women, these modern day women are highly disrespectful. These women are so confused, right? They're so confused. They swear that nobody hollers at them. Nobody approaches them. No one pursues them. But why would a man pursue you when as soon as he even works up the nerve to say something to you, you reject him? You belittle him. You tell him that he's thirsty. You tell him that he's pressed. You tell him that he doesn't have enough money. You tell him that he does not qualify for your time or your attention. And then you wonder why they don't want to deal with you.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
This is why they're not approaching you. And this is the crazy part. You got a lot of women that are so stuck in time, right? They're not getting approached. No one wants to deal with them, right? And they won't even switch it up enough to even go at a man because they're scared of rejection. And I said it, men take rejection way better than women do. Women are delusional. Most women want to be lied to. A woman will put on an outfit knowing that she gained 30 pounds and have the nerve to come in front of you and say, do I look fat in this outfit? And if you say yes, you're the bad guy. We still love women. We don't mind pursuing women, but no one is chasing nobody, especially when it's not appreciated. Am I lying?
Why are men so afraid to approach women these days?
Me too.
Well, I think like there's obviously the fear of rejection in there too. It's not just me too, right?
Oh, certainly.
Men, there are a lot of
100%.
insecure men out there that really don't want to face the possibility of rejection, so they will never put themselves out there. But then again, on the other side, women need to learn how to reject men without being rude to them and having some grace about it. Like that's kind of a lost art, is rejecting
Yes.
someone in a generous way.
Yeah, I 100% agree. A lot of men will have the experience of going up to a girl and it's like, it can be pretty brutal, the ways in which men get rejected. Certainly in like a party type environment, if there's alcohol involved, even a guy who like in a very polite way goes up to a girl, like when alcohol's involved, people can be very obnoxious and brutal. And also with social media, men are also scared of like, they don't want to come off like a creep, not just in that moment, but then like if the girl goes and tells all her friends, oh, this guy came up to me and approached me, and I don't know, so.
She could record you. Yeah.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods.
Well, I'm not going back in this storage.
The monster street interviews that clubs created. It's fun to have a laugh and post cringe, but even we have to acknowledge that the formula backfires. Guys, honesty is always the best policy, and if we're honest with ourselves, if a 23-year-old modern woman can get on camera, describe her nightly rituals, build a brand off a 3-second soundbite, start a podcast, make crypto, do a rug pull, and come out the other end richer than ever before, the current generation just can't be saved. It's like any of those popular shows in the 2000s with people suffering from trauma and some kind of antisocial personality disorder. They got into them too early. The clout chasing, money-hungry, simp-hustling gambit is a compulsion. It's a straight-up addiction. And given the fact that Western therapists will only applaud this kind of behavior, well, it's clear the only way to heal society 1 year at a time is with a massive, widespread, fresh start. Now, obviously, none of these chicks are actually coming out on top. Every month, there are instances where these women go off the rails, spend their money, and land right where they started. But it's a cycle, and walking away, regardless of recent shifts, has never been more important.
You are a 4 at best.
Guys aren't meant to see this many hot bitches.
Back in the olden days, they would see 200 baddies in their whole life. And now
In
it's
their
like
whole life.
In their whole life. And now it's like they are desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll have conversations with my guy friends where I need to check them, where I'm like, you need to check yourself. They'll be like, oh, well, her hair wasn't perfect, or she didn't have like veneers, so I just didn't. And I'm like, you are a 4 at best. Like, this is insane. You think that you have access. They're so delusional. They think that
They're
they
so
can
delusional.
bag like these hot girls because there's so many hot girls on Instagram.
And then they do them dirty because you think you're going to get another batter, which it's like at one point we all start to even out, but also at the same time, it's like, this is my thing. I always say your resume is trash on paper and in real life.
Exactly.
Your resume is trash for you to be talking like this, sounding like this, and acting like you have so many options available to you.
No, it's crazy.
First of all, you can't look like that and have a trash resume and expect to bag a 10 every time. You're funny. You're not that funny.
Why, it's opposite day.
What's the best part about living in New York as a retiree?
Women, they're very expensive. Well, if you have a young one, she just wants a pair of shoes. But if you have an older one, she wants a new car.
And you'll buy the new car?
Have pressure put on me.
Okay, but you'll avoid somehow buying the car.
Well, it's Tai Chi.
What's your defense mechanism?
When the energy comes at you this way, you turn to the side, and the energy continues on that.
I don't think I gotta tell anyone this, but the comment section is overflowing with women asking for the at. Jokes aside, it just goes to show that, for women, time does not heal all wounds. In fact, this is just another example of how the modern female cycle just accelerates with each passing year. The older simp here said it himself. When they're young, they want shoes. When they're older, they want a car. People use this principle with corn addiction, but there's a law of diminishing returns. As you continuously increase one input, like adding more workers to a factory, while keeping other factors constant, the additional output gained from each additional unit of that input will eventually decrease, meaning the rate of return will decline at a certain point. Essentially, adding more of something will not always lead to proportionally more results, unless we're talking about women in the modern world, because that will always lead to lower returns. Sorry for the economics lesson, but this applies to everything in the Western world. At the moment, women between the ages of 22 and 49 are 99.9% more likely than any other window to ask for more and more and more with each passing year, while giving less and less and less in return. It's why men walk up to so many of these chicks and ask the simple question. If men can hire a streetwalker to clean the house, cook, and provide all the other bells and whistles, why would they pick up a free agent that protests all of those things for the same cost? Only for the woman in question to look like a deer in headlights without a solid answer. And the crazy part is, that's not even the worst part of the problem.
Weird how I ended up as a girl who works. I don't know how that happened.
What do you think about me dropping an OF in high school?
Well, you did it after you turned 18, so...
Well, I mean, why would I do it before?
Right, so you were 18, free to do whatever you want.
Do you support it?
Yes.
Why?
Because I've always supported you.
Great mom. I wonder if the stats are true. Guess we'll never know. Guys, this behavior is passed down. No getting around that. And broadly, it's humanity's greatest strength, but also its greatest weakness. Whether as a mom or a dad, the sponge brain of a child is going to take in literally anything they can see in front of them. So, if a dad is a veteran that starts a business helping the needy while also managing to get people off the streets to start new productive lives, odds are at least one of those kids is going to enter the working world with similar goals. Obviously, by contrast, if a daughter grows up with a mother who kicked the father out of the picture for fleeting desires, runs her credit score into the ground, brings an assembly line of men into the house that would make Henry Ford blush, takes lewd photographs for people in the neighborhood, wrecks homes, refuses to stay loyal, and pays for gifts using alimony payments and child support, well, we're looking at a pretty freaking messed up kid. And whether or not the feminists want to admit this is only emphasized to the extent that it is among women. More often than not, this is the prevailing pattern. Boys will try and emulate the father, ending up doing something different, but often similar, inspired by what they experienced. Girls, being girls, try everything they can to not be like their mothers, and almost without fail, end up being a carbon copy because of how impressionable they are by comparison. And this goes double for values.
Did that look any less over the top?
I don't care.
You don't want to be here, honestly.
Nice.
Hey, so I was thinking we've been dating 6 months now. I've met your entire family. You tell me how much you love me every day. Maybe we make this exclusive? Nah, that's what I was thinking too.
The family didn't approve because they saw your LonelyFans, lady. Didn't think anyone would have to spell this out or explain why this joke has a worse landing than what was seen in New York back in the day. But here we are, aren't we? In other words, traditions are only traditions if they're passed down, and women haven't done that for years. In fact, the only traditions that women have passed down in the West are the inability to cook without microwaves, hoflation, digital spreads, and those aren't even traditions. They're characteristics/traits. Not exactly worth Nobel Prize, although none of us would be shocked if the modern world gave you one anyway for any of the above listed. I'll even bring up a story from my personal life to bring the point home. Why not, right? Screw it. This is how my folks got together. When my dad was young, he was like most men without access to the internet or how women were on a steep decline. Don't get me wrong, the 80s showed major signs of deterioration, but the ratio for women of total value and zero value was more like 80 to 20 than today's 99 to 1. And like most guys his age, with a new job and money he wasn't familiar with having, he was walking around with an easy chick, revealing clothing, ditzy comments, drinking too much at every party, what people of this generation had dubbed a, quote, fun girl. Now, while most people in the city saw this as fun, my grandmother, born on a rural farm in a location I won't disclose, didn't see this as fun at all. She was, as she should have been, absolutely disgusted, and she didn't make it a secret. She'd call her all the names that would get a channel canceled. Good for Grandma. Anyway, one day, after the dad graduated with his last degree, my grandmother threw a party. She invited everyone from the local priest, to the butcher, to the woman who did her hair, but not the fun girl. Instead, she invited a woman who was God-fearing, moral, charitable. Honestly, pretty much everything the other chick wasn't. Was my dad pissed when he found out about the ruse? Yes. Did he throw a bit of a fit about it and question who this mystery girl at the party was? Yeah. But when he met this friend of a friend's daughter, they hit it off almost immediately. They shared similar religious views, family backgrounds, ambitions or goals, and in a matter of months, they got hitched. Yep, that was my mom, and they've been married ever since. Now, guys, the funny part is that when I look at the way this relationship functioned as a kid, paired with what I was learning at school and watching TV, I actually found myself occasionally questioning my father's behavior. While the Western world was giving a curriculum packed with feminist messaging, fictionalized dumb blue-collar dads with horrible wives, empowered women, flower power, and the rest of it, I'd be working around the house or having dinner at home witnessing an entirely different setting. My dad would only need to raise his hand, and my mom would go silent, especially during tax season. If he said the food was cold, she reheated it without question. Praying at the table, my mom would always end it with being grateful that he brought home the bacon. When I'd go to school and describe this situation to classmates, they seemed disgusted with my family life. And I honestly didn't really care. But they'd say things like, he sounds like a monster, she must be terrified, or the popular one I'd hear going into high school, just give it a couple years and your parents will separate like mine. That's how it starts. My dad was a jerk just like that. But as the years passed and other families deteriorated, nothing happened. Same routine, same subservience, same dynamic all around. Peace. Now, I'm not sharing this story to gloat or anything like that. I definitely faced plenty of problems like everyone else, even in my family life. I share this though because my mom, your mom, we're all women. Either are suitable or they ain't. That's why we call it a pill. And for some, it's hard to swallow. Whoa, pause. Now, most of what we see on the planet isn't black and white. But guys, this one is.
Very funny.
Baby, these are my dreads. That's my dress. Like, that's like not no joke.
No.
What are you laughing at? Oh, my nigga, that's my fucking dread. You think this shit is a fucking joke? You actually cut my fucking hair, my nigga.
Nice work.
Alright, baby, I'm heading out for the girls' night that I told you about.
Okay, have fun, be safe. Keep your location on so I can make sure you're good.
Okay.
All
Bye.
All right, bye. Have fun. I'm gonna miss you.
I'll miss you too.
Ready to go?
Yep. You got everything?
I'm so hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Whoa.
What?
Okay, guess we don't have to dress up at all.
I just want to be comfortable tonight. You have your wallet?
Yeah, I got my wallet.
Okay, because I'm not bringing my purse.
Oh, I'm paying?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just like always.
It's not funny if it's real, especially if it's real for you. Men, because most of you walked away a while back, you probably watch these and have a laugh. I know I do. It's easy to do that when you're sitting on the outside. But for the few men that continue to encourage this, well, it's not funny for them. It's a waking nightmare. Refusing to walk away doesn't heal society. It only encourages the cycle. More single moms, more 304s, more child support, more alimony, and more of the general headaches that come with it. Truth be told, if I didn't feel compelled to share this with you all, I obviously wouldn't. But what keeps me coming back with points, examples, and stats is the men that email me every week that, to my surprise, didn't get the memo. The ones that worked their asses off for their entire lives to achieve that slice of stability our ancestors did, only to have it stripped away because the message wasn't loud enough.
Where did we go wrong? لقطة ختام مسكوا الختام مسكوا الختام مسكوا الختام مسكوا الختام خلاص 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 رافقت أخيرا ترضخ.
What a union. Your children will be proud. Anyway, without a fresh start, you're ignoring the past. Real men don't swing that way. Guys, all day, especially in the West, but also the East, men are being sold the idea that society can be healed starting with women that they have on deck. The ones we see in clips every day here on Man Guide. We're told that these women are willing to compromise, that they're ideal and flexible in the ways that matter, that they'll make perfect wives and mothers, with messages like this to try and explain it away.
There are an increasingly large number of women who are just choosing not to get married and are choosing to stay single. There's a mating crisis going on, and that women who are becoming increasingly college educated and getting access to resources of their own, that they do continue to exhibit an increased preference for partners with resources. Women are what we call hypergamous, right? Which means that we like to mate up in terms of achievement and educational attainment. And when you have a populace like we do in the US of women who are now on average more educated than men, it makes it more difficult to find a suitable partner. If you're a woman with an advanced degree and you want somebody who has at least as much education for you, that's going to lead to a more narrow pool of mates. And in fact, what we see is that there are an increasingly large number of women who are just choosing not to get married and are choosing to stay single. And in fact, there's a wonderful book called All the Single Ladies that is about this very phenomenon. And women are increasingly choosing to opt out of long-term mating if they're not able to find the relationship that they want.
Problem solved. Problem's not solved. A lot of women are bums, and you have high standards with low quality in yourself. You want a man to have 6 figures. You want a man to take care of you, pay all your bills. You want a man to do this, that, and the third. Elevate your life. But you can't do that for yourself. So why is a man going to invest that into you when you don't even do that for yourself? If you don't show a man that you're worth that yourself, why is it that you feel obligated to meet somebody? And most times it's a stranger. You meet a stranger and he ain't trying to pay your bills. You don't want to deal with him. That's insane.
It's a stranger.
But here's the flip side of that. Women are putting themselves in situations where they're dealing with less than for a nigga that's paying their bills.
No, most women feel like when they fuck a nigga, they can fuck some other nigga too.
Prostitution. That's modern day prostitution. You want to mess
just
with a nigga that got money and you think you calculate his pockets. Oh, he got money. That's his money. And then when you fuck him, you get mad because you don't get nothing. If we gonna be anything in 2024, let's be fucking for real, because that's not it.
The lessons are all around them, but the ones that are spent aren't listening. Men, remember that you are the only people that have options. Anything you'd like from the world is provided for. You just gotta learn how to achieve it without compromise. It's the masculine way, the only way. And that'll wrap up today's video. So I want to say I appreciate you for making it all the way to the end. Don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment to have a chance to be featured, and hit that sub button to approve of our message. Our goal is to keep on reaching all the good men out there. And we got a second channel, Man Guide Reacts. Link is down in the description. We got some fresh content. Gonna be trying some new stuff over there. So I appreciate all the continued support, y'all, and I want to wish you all tremendous success. Catch ya in the next one.